We don't need to get ourselves nothing other than Olam HaBa. And if a person does not use the gifts that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave him or her to constantly fear not having Olam HaBa, that person is the poorest person on planet Earth, even if their bank account says billions of dollars. There was a tzaddik about 100 years ago, a little over 100 years ago, 150 years ago maybe, named Kalonimus Zev Wissotzky. Kalonimus Zev Wissotzky was a Talmid Chacham, learned in Yeshivat Volozhin, and later on he went on to business, and Hashem gave him a lot of success. Hashem gave him success in business, and he noticed that there was a shortage in certain products in the Jewish world, and he saw that there's no kosher for pessa'h tea in the Jewish world in Russia. So what did he do? He says, okay, let me get in, let me use this success to not only donate money to yeshivot, not only to do good things, but also to help the Jewish people. I have given them products that they need, and he went into the tea business. And he went into the tea business, and Hashem gave him an extraordinary amount of success, and until this day, you see his tea products, Wissotzky products, in the Jewish world and worldwide, where this tea is very popular, and Baruch Hashem. Now the question is, why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu give Rav Wissotzky such success? That until this day, over 100 years later, you still see his products out there, you still see the success. Why? Perhaps there was a whole list of good things that he did in his life, but all of those good things can be personified in his story. Rav Wissotzky used his money to show to express his love of Torah, and he donated to a lot of yeshivot. But he had a special relationship with the Saba min Avarduk, something out of this world. So much so that everybody knew there was a difference. One time a Rosh Yeshiva came to Rav Wissotzky and asked him for a donation for his yeshiva. And Rav Wissotzky went back and forth with him, who, what, when, how much. And then the Rosh Yeshiva said to him, I don't understand. We learn Torah, and we ask you for a donation. Every time I ask you for a donation, we go back and forth and arguing how much and who and what and when. But when the Saba min Avarduk comes here, everybody knows. Kvodo not only gives, you give him a check and you tell him write whatever amount you want. I don't understand. What's the difference? He learns Torah, we learn Torah. He teaches Torah, we teach Torah. Why are you giving so much more? Saba Wissotzky says to him, the Rabbi Wissotzky says to him, he says, listen, all the Rosh Yeshivot that come to me, they give me a lot of honor, a lot of respect. Why? Because I have a lot of money, and they want me to donate. And they respect me because of the money that I had. Sure, we're friendly with this, with that, but in reality, it's a special type of respect that I get because of how much money I have. So now because they give me so much respect for my money, they remind me how much I can do with this money, and they remind me how much I like the money that I have, that I don't really want to give it away. Because it's so good, why should I give it away? So, it's hard for me to give them a lot. So I give. But when the Saba min Avarduk comes to me, first and foremost, he doesn't look at me the same way as everybody else. He comes into my house after a long trip, there's mud on his shoes. He doesn't care about the mud on his shoes in the house, in the fancy or anything. As soon as he gets into the house, he's screaming, Wissotzky, Wissotzky, money, Wissotzky, what we're going to do with your Olam HaBa? All you have is money. Where's your Olam HaBa, Wissotzky? Where's your Olam HaBa? What are we going to do with all this money? And the Saba min Avarduk comes to me and he starts telling me how much of a problem I have, that I still have money that I haven't used to publicize Torah, to help Am Yisrael do tshuva, to help Avrechim. All I have is money that is going to stay in this world. I don't have enough for Olam HaBa. What am I going to do? And he reminds me how the money that I have is simply a tool, a gift that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave me in order for me to enter to Olam HaBa. It's not to go buy more cars and helicopters and all types of things. It's for me to buy Olam HaBa, to help myself get to Olam HaBa. And if I don't use it the right way, I don't have Olam HaBa. What value does this money actually have if I don't have Olam HaBa? That's what the Saba Min Havardo comes to and reminds me. He makes me realize this money that I have is not worth anything if I don't have Olam HaBa. A lot of people think that because they have money, because they donate 1,000, 50,000, 100,000, oh, they're okay. They don't realize it's all relative. If you have a lot and there's not a lot in the Torah world, there's not a lot good that you're doing with it, you have a very serious problem. The Chafetz Chaim says that the people that will get the most amount of punishment are people that are successful and have a lot of money and did not use that money effectively to publicize more Torah. People think they're doing the rabbis a favor, they're doing us a favor because they're donating a few dollars. They don't realize everything is for themselves because the Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to give anyway. A person that's giving is giving for themselves. Rav Wissotzky, that knew a lot of Torah, understood this clearly, but he still needed the Saba Min Havardo to remind him. And he says that when the Saba Min Havardo comes to me, I know he's not taking a penny to himself. I know he's not using it for himself. He's simply coming because he feels bad for me. He feels bad for me. And he wants to come help me. He wants to come help me get to Olam HaBa. So after I get this reminder, this shock, I just give him a check. I said, please, Kvod Rav, just write whatever amount you need for the yeshiva, whatever you need, so I could at least have a chance to go to Olam HaBa. This, Rabotai, is Dveikut be'HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This is not just knowledge that HaKadosh Baruch Hu exists, that we believe in Him, and we have faith in Him, and we have bitachon in Him, and we fear. No, this is Dveikut be'HaKadosh Baruch Hu through the gift that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you. What happens a lot of times is that people get a certain gift. HaKadosh Baruch Hu shows them a way to use their gift in an effective way. They start good, but then the Yetzer Hara comes and tries to steer them in a different direction. They start helping, but then the Yetzer Hara tries to steer them in a different direction. They start doing something positive, but then the Yetzer Hara starts to steer them in a different direction. How can we run away from this Yetzer Hara? Dveikut be'HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Dveikut be'HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the constant fear of the Almighty, that we need to get ourselves Olam HaBa. We don't need to get ourselves notoriety. We don't need to get ourselves fans. We don't need to get ourselves people to like us. We don't need to get ourselves more material. We don't need to get ourselves more popularity. We don't need to get ourselves nothing other than Olam HaBa. And if a person does not use the gifts that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave him or her to constantly fear not having Olam HaBa, that person is the poorest person on planet Earth, even if their bank account says billions of dollars. And that's one of the reasons why the Saba Min Havardo, with certain people, he would talk this way and he would tell them, what do you have? You have only money. Other times you would come to people and you would just say divrei Torah to them. And I said, but Kvod Rav, don't you want to talk about money? He goes, no, let's just talk about Torah. What, so Kvod Rav doesn't need money for his 70 yeshivot? The Saba Min Havardo says to him, the Gemara in Masechet Shabbat, page Lamed Gimel, says that everybody knows what the Chatan and the Kala do on the day of their chuppah, but woe to the one who speaks about it. Meaning that, of course you know I need more money to do more kiyuv, to build more Torah, to do all good things, but why do we need to talk about it? Why doesn't it just come out from you that you want it, that you need it? Why don't you realize that it's for your sake, not for me? With some people, that's the way we would talk to them. With other people, literally you would cry with them. The key is for us to learn from these stories and yearn to have real Dveikut be'HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that way, we can not only live, but we can live with a purpose. May Ratzon, may it be His will, that each and every single one of us listen to the laws, yearn for Dveikut with HaKadosh Baruch Hu in such a way that when it comes to fighting idolatry, or fighting our own Yetzer Hara, or anything that's against Hashem, we will do it with joy. We will do it with simcha, even if that means it's a war against all types of things that are out there that are against Hashem. Because when you're serving Hashem with dveikut, there's nothing in the world that's greater than that. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen v'amen.